What's going on, everybody? TheKennyDubz here with a bit of a different video today for Mega Man X Dive. Now, what I'm going to be going over today is the run I just did for the previous ranked season, Season 1. I hit GA, and I figured I would upload this because I wanted to upload more content to the channel for Mega Man X Dive. So I guess I wanted to show off my climb from A rank to GA. As you can see, I went 23-5. That's an 82% win rate. I could have done a little bit better, but some games I got disconnected on, and I think I had a good chance of winning, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to be showcasing a few games. I'll show off the characters that I use and what loadouts I use and recommend, and I'll just kind of go over what I was thinking during the match, and why I made certain decisions, why other people might make certain decisions, and maybe it'll help some other people out while going through Arena or playing the game in general. So anyway, let's get started. So the first character we're going to go over is X. If you watch my character overview for X, you'll know why I'm using him. He's a really solid unit overall, and I think people do sleep on him quite a bit. So for the first skill chip, we're going to be using Charge Shot, which gives you more damage when you deal Charge Shot. And we have Tracking Missile equipped with the Destruction Warhead, which is important because that will inflict defense break on the target. And over here we just have X's standard cards, the Charge Shot card, the X card, and then I just throw in some yellow card to trigger both passives for X's cards because his card requirements are red, blue, and yellow. Next up, we have Classic Mega Man, and on Classic Mega Man's Charge Shot, I just have the Ultimate Charge Shot chip. It's alright, I don't really like it all that much, but because of the weapons I use, I end up liking it a little bit. Then we have a Leaf Shield, we just have Surround Enhancement. That's kind of just whatever. That might come and play a little bit. And here to show off, I have him at 3 stars, which you can see. And on Mega Man, I have an interesting card loadout on him. I have the Alia card, I have the Victoroid card, and I have Vials card. Now, the reason I have these 3 specific cards is because the Victoroid card in particular offers Buster Amplification, I think it's called. Yes, Buster Amplification, which increases the damage you deal when equipped with the Buster. And since I'm running double Buster, this will be very, very key to my setup. And it needs green and yellow. So then because of that, I decided to grab Vials Explosive Round card because that triggers off of blue, green, and yellow. And that will add more damage for the target and crit enhancement status, which isn't really controllable, but if someone does it, I can just nuke them. And Alias will do more damage if she has a target in defense crit status, which X does. So if X dies, I can come up with Mega Man. Now we're on Ultimate Armor X. I just have the standard chips on him, I think. I put Showtime on Nova Strike because Nova Strike is really good with Showtime. Only have him at 3 stars. So there's that. And for X's chip, I believe it's the chip that does 50% more damage when a charge shot is shot. And here I actually have the wrong cards on my X. I have Victoroid and Bat because I was using Ultimate Armor X for the event prior to this. But yeah, that's a little unfortunate. So right there, show my weapons. It was a Biochemical Buster and Arrow Buster. Now unfortunately, my Arrow Buster didn't have the 4th passive on it, which is kind of detrimental because I have it at 4 stars, but didn't have the last passive on it. So on top of Ultimate Armor X having the wrong cards, I have the wrong passive on my Arrow Buster. I don't have full passive on my Arrow Buster. I will switch that later, but I just thought I'd throw it out beforehand. I do not have bullet modification at this point. So first round here, I see my opponent has a Black 0, and I know Black 0 does the thing where he gets a shield when he's at 4 stars. I want to watch out for the Raikkosen, and that's basically it. He does have the Ultimate Armor X as well, and they get me there, which is unfortunate. However, with my Mega Man, I think I clean this up. I start off with the Leaf Shield and kind of just dash over. I messed up my pathing on the first run, which is bad. And right there, you can kind of see why I like the Ultimate Charge Shot, because I'm using the Chill Penguin chip, so I can slow targets down before shooting the Charge Shot at them if they don't have the debuff barrier. So I beat the Ultimate Armor X. Next I have to worry about Cinnamon, and I don't think the Cinnamon was very high starred at all, so I wasn't really too worried about her. I was able to get some nice damage off on her with Classic Mega Man. However, I did get fragged, so that was unfortunate. But now we're down to Ultimate Armor X, and my opponent has a little over 1 character left. I don't want to get too close because they're running Pizza Cutter plus Sprayer, which is just sword plus spray, so, snow spray, so that you get slowed down and then they can just dash slash you. into oblivion. Now here I'm actually going to go get my speed, and I think it's right there that I noticed that I had the wrong cards on, but I didn't end up changing it because I waited till like the last part of the season to do this. And with Black Zero, you really don't want to get too close because of the Rayquaza, but after he uses that, he doesn't really have much to do to me because I can just play the range game. I outrange him. He doesn't have his dash anymore. So all I really have to watch out for is the C Splasher, and it's not that hard to dodge. So I was able to get that win out fairly easily. Now here, my opponent is a human of culture as well. They have a 5-star X. However, they also have the Purgatory Machine Gun and the Crimson Scythe. Now the Purgatory Machine Gun, the machine guns aren't that great in PvP. So when I saw that, I knew that I would be fairly safe to close a distance on them. They have no stars on their Black Zero, so I don't have to worry about the Sea Splasher. I'm sorry, the Rayquaza getting them the shield. So off the bat, what I try to do typically is get a shot with my Chill Penguin chip and then get a tracking missile off before the Destruction Warhead. And as you can see there, Destruction Warhead amplifies my damage so that I'm able to just rip through the opposition's HP. Because I still have about half of my HP left, they have none. Now they're on Black Zero, but again, they're using the Purgatory Machine Gun, so I'm not that worried, to be honest. Right there, I did close the distance a little bit, so it was kind of inevitable that I died because I played a little too carelessly. But here I have the Chill Penguin chip damage on the Black Zero, so I can land my fully charged ultimate shot with Classic Mega Man. Go over here, see if the health has respawned. It has not. I want to go grab the debuff shield right here, that's what this green thing is. It's a debuff shield. So if you have that, you won't get stunned, poisoned, slowed, etc. Which is why I try to get it, even if I don't think the opponent has something that would be affected by it. I still kind of grab to deny it from my opponent because I'm using the Biochemical Buster and I don't want them to get it. So at the very least, I'm grabbing it so that they can't get it. Clean up that match, move up to 2-star A rank. Moving on. Now we're in our next game. I see Black Zero has 4 stars, and I know that means that his Rayquaza will give him a shield. What that also means is that I have to tear through the shield. So what I'm going to do is off the bat, my pathing still isn't that great because I was still trying to determine which path I should take up to here. But I want to get the debuff barrier for reasons I said prior. But also because I noticed my opponent has the Muramasa, which probably has the Red Alert, the Mega Scorpio chip, which leaves behind a Electric Shockwave. As you can see, it does hit me, but because I landed the Chill Penguin shot on my opponent, I was able to slow them down as well, despite myself being slowed down. And I actually triggered the Electric Warhead, X's passive, which has a chance to leave your opponent stunned, or immobilized rather, which is very, very nice because you can see the Zero just standing there in place due to that. And here there's an Alia. I know Alia's kit, and I got a little cocky there because I was like, Alia probably won't be able to hurt me, but I underestimated the radius of the explosion on her green spinner. So here she's just camping where the health is, so I'm just gonna kind of come in, and I kind of use Classic Mega Man as like my middle ground. I'm just kind of like bum rush the opponent typically, just for a little bit more damage, even if it means I'll get taken out. Now right there, you don't want to get close to Furham because Furham is dangerous at close range because they could have a melee weapon, and Furham's kit is made to be close range. So what I do here is I kind of just kite her away. I use my Buster and my range to my advantage, which is part of the reason why I like Busters. This account is kind of more geared towards the Busters anyway because of the characters that I have. But Busters means that I do not have to get up close and personal to characters like Furham or Black Zero, which is good for me. So we clean up that game. Queue up for another game. I get disconnected immediately, as you can see. That's why I left this in. And right here, it's just very, very unfortunate. I end up losing this game, as you'll see in a little bit, because I got disconnected. I think, to be honest, if I didn't get disconnected, I would have had a very good shot at winning this, because I was able to clean up the Black Zero very, very quickly with Ultimate Armor X. I should have been able to do the same thing with X as well, due to the debuffs and such. And right here, I know that Leviathan is kind of deadly at close range, or like really any range if I see that Ice Dragon. So I want to like distance myself and get the speed buff so that I can attempt to get the get more distance away from it. But I didn't have enough health to live, and the ice bit she left behind from hitting her ended up getting rid of me. So that match was a loss. I got DC'd. There's not much I can do about that, so I just have to move on. GG next. So here my opponent has a 3-star first armor X, no star second armor X, and no star ultimate armor X. They have a melee weapon in the Nightmare, and they have the gravitational pulse. Now, again, they have a melee weapon, so I do not want to get too close. First Armor X also has Headbutt, so I do not want to get too close. That can inflict Defense Crush, which I do not want to deal with. And his Charge Shot is pretty good, too. So, I didn't move fast enough to try and get the debuff barrier, but my opponent isn't going for it either, so I'm just going to take this opportunity to try to get damage on them and kite them away from the debuff barrier because they have to close the distance on me. So what I did was I jumped up the wall, then dashed away to make space for myself. And here they have second armor X. I'm not gonna lie, when it was happening, I didn't realize it was a second armor X. I was like, didn't I just get rid of you? How are you back again? So there's that, and I cleaned up the second armor X pretty easily. Now we're just down to the ultimate armor X versus the rest of my team. And at this point, I'm thinking the X can kind of done's job, so I'm not gonna try to kind of play keep away, like, you know, like tag back and forth. So I just kind of let X die there. I did get a little chunk there, so that's nice. And over here, I'm just going to hit them with the charge shot, which ends up working out okay. I get the freeze on them, which is good, so I can land more charge shots and such. And they're going to try to camp the health pack, which is okay. Even if they get it, I still have another full health character. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to clean up a classic Mega Man there, but that's fine, because I have a full health Ultimate Armor X, and I don't think there's a way that they can clean me up very nicely, unless I make some horrible mistakes, which, as you're going to see in a second, I didn't make any horrible mistakes. I switched to the Arrow Buster there because it has a lot longer range than my other weapon, and I figured it'll catch them off guard, so they won't be Nova Striking or trying to dash away from me at that point. Next game. Opponent has Black 0, 0Z, and 0. 1 star on 0, 2 stars on 0Z. Again, not too worried because this Black 0 is not 4 star, the 0Z does not have 4 star, and the 0 does not have 2 stars. Those are relevant because those are pretty important points for them to hit. Now, the 0Z could have both of its cards, so I do have to be wary of that. So as per usual, I'm just going to try to get up here and get the debuff barrier. I see the 0 coming, like, kind of down here, and I notice they have a machine gun, so when I see my opponent has a machine gun, a lot of the times, I just kind of think to myself, this is probably heavily weighted in my favor as it is, just because of how machine guns perform in PvP, to be honest. So usually when I see that, I tend to, I guess I say let my guard down. To an extent. As you can see, I get really sloppy here. I get close to 0Z, which is something I don't want to do. Even though he's not 4 star and doesn't have the lifesteal passive, 0 Knuckle hurts a lot. And if they have the card maxed out for 0Z, what they can do is steal my buffs if I have any. Here is 0, and I can just kind of outrange him because they have the machine gun and they have a melee weapon, and I don't want to get close to people because of Pizza Cutter Meter. So here, my opponent has a 5-star X, a 1-star Black 0, and Lair. 5-star Gatling Gun, 2-star Trigun, or 2-star Triangular Saber. So again, I'm not really worried about their primary weapon. I do want to keep the distance so that they can't Pizza Cutter me into oblivion. And like that's what I'm thinking a lot through the majority of these games. I don't want to let them get close to me, especially if they have a melee weapon, if they have Black 0, if they have Furham. Sometimes it's going to happen. Like, I can't prevent it all the time, but I can do everything in my power to prevent that from happening. Unfortunately, I don't think I do it here. No, I didn't go for the speed first. If I went for the speed first, I think that would have been a much better play, because then I can just cover the ground of the arena much more easily. So I get close to the Black 0, not too worried because I see the machine gun, or the Gatling gun, I'm sorry, and I kind of just start unloading. At this point though, my HP is looking kind of low, but the dot damage, the damage over time from the Biochemical Buster is able to take out the opposition. So Black 0 goes down. Oh, that's not Black 0. This is Black 0 right here. I actually thought I was out of range from the Raikkosen right there. That's why I jumped up the way I did, but I was not out of range. Which is very, very unfortunate. So here, I get a little bit closer to Raikkosen again. Not the best thing I could have done, but because my opponent got close to me, I had my life shield up, which I don't think they realized I had put up just as they went to stun me with Raykosen. So they were taking damage as well on top of the damage I was dishing out to them. So right here, this is Lair. I know what Lair can do because I just finished my Lair 100 stages. But Lair, you're going to see a little bit later on, Lair does something that catches me off guard because her hitbox is bigger than I think it is. Like, I don't think I'm in the hitbox. That might be this match right here because they also have Lair. Oh no, that was the same person, but ended up with me winning again. So I just showed the matchup and I just cut away to me winning. Here my game crashes again, so that's unfortunate. But again, there's nothing I can do about that. I think if my game hadn't crashed here, this match probably would have been heavily in my favor. So I take out the Vial really easily. Granted, I'm on my last character because I got disconnected, but the health isn't there for whatever reason. Oh, right, that's something else too. You can pick up health when you're at full health. So my opponent might have picked it up before, like, just on their way to when I got there. So that sucks. So I'm just going to pick up buffs here. And I'm going to double back now to see if the health is here. I take out most of Black Zero's health too. So I honestly think that if I didn't get DC'd there, I think this match would have been mine too. But again, nothing I can do about it. GG next. I think this is an opponent I fought earlier because this team looks familiar. I believe so. The name looks kind of familiar too. But as per usual, I'm going to go up here and get the debuff shield first because I have a bunch of debuffs I'd like to apply. First Armor X don't want to get close to him, and they have Triangular Saber, so I definitely want to get close to them. I debuff them with the Tracking Missile and the Biochemical Buster, and it's pretty easy pickings at that point, because I just use the slowing effect plus the damage over time plus the defense debuff to just amplify all the things that I can do to my opponent. That's why I like having at least the Biochemical Buster for right now. If I had Sniper Buster, I'd probably use Arrow Buster over it, to be honest. Or use that over Arrow Buster. I actually end up KOing the second Armor X right there. I don't know if I got hit by the Giga attack. I thought that it would have gone off and done a lot more damage to me, but it looked like it didn't do very much. So maybe it didn't go off. Maybe I defeated him early enough in the animation so that it didn't end up going off. However, over here we have his last character, which is Ultimate Armor X. Not too worried about it. Again, I figure at this point X has done his job, so I'm just gonna kind of get a little reckless there. Here, Classic Mega Man can just clean up the job, and if worst case scenario, Classic Mega Man can't do it, I still have my Ultimate Armor X in the back waiting to come out. And then this is my rank up into SA. That might be why I kept this game in, even though it might be against the same person, just because that was my rank up. So here, I'm playing against someone who has Leviathan. And after the last game where I fought Leviathan, I'm kind of in just like, I don't want to deal with this. But they have a 5-star Gravitational Pulse and a 1-star Nightmare. So what I want to do is, I think on this one, do I? No, I go for the debuff shield first. I should be going for the speed. My pathing out on these first few games is kind of bad. But they're on Nightmare right now, so I really don't want to get close. I get pieced up right there. Didn't even get to do that much damage to them. I got some debuffs on them, but that doesn't really help me all that much. So up here, I'm gonna try my darndest to get rid of Leviathan with Classic Mega Man, because if I do that, I'll be in a pretty good spot. I end up getting rid of her. If I had the speed buff, that would have been a lot better, but I didn't end up getting it for some reason. I should have gotten the speed buff. I think I'm gonna go get it now, though. Yeah, I'm gonna go get it now, which is unfortunate. I need to be making these decisions a lot quicker. It's like when I play Overwatch, like, you need to start making decisions fast, because, like, you need to just, it's like, the faster you make the decisions, the better it will be. As you can see, the longer it takes me to think about decision of what I want to do, usually gives my opponent some time to just capitalize on my mistake or my lack of action. So over there, like, the auto-targeting sometimes targets the enemies that I don't want them to, as in, like, the stationary enemies, which is kind of bad. So I try to avoid fighting near them when I can. I'm gonna go grab the debuff shield here, take out the first Armor X pretty easily, and then I grab the speed. I take out the enemy just for the message, I guess, And now we're down to my opponent's first armor, or ultimate armor X. Unfortunately for my opponent, I landed a full charge shot on them. And that does a lot of damage, on top of slowing them down and the dot damage that happens to them. So, got another one under my belt. Now I'm facing off against someone with... Oh, this is the same person, I think. No, because they have a 0-star Leviathan, a 4-star Ultimate Armor X, and a 4-star First Armor X. And I'm pretty sure I saw this, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good one. So, I want to take up the Leviathan as quickly as possible. Ah, here I go. Because I saw the Leviathan, I was like, I need speed. They got the debuff shield, which sucks because I was getting the speed. But as you can see, with the speed, I'm able to outmaneuver her summoning of the Ice Wagon. So, here, I'm going to kind of play tag. And just kind of like kite them around a little bit. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get away in time, which kind of sucks. But switch to classic Mega Man. Gonna go ahead and get this Leviathan taken care of here. And I make the mistake sometimes of walking through the electric field left by the opponent's chip when they use their melee weapon, which is very, very bad. So I get fragged by the Ultimate Armor X there, which is very, very unfortunate for me. However, I'm down to my Ultimate Armor X. They still have one more after this, but I'm going to go grab the speed buff because speed is real good. So here, I'm just going to kind of try to play keep away again to an extent. Like I'm going to jump up on the platform right above the health pack, jump down, grab the health pack, take out Ultimate Armor X. So now we're down to 1-1. I get the debuff shield because I figure I'm going to need it. Then I'm going to jump up here, get the speed buff because speed is real good. And what I'm trying to do here is not get in range of the Ultimate Armor, or the First Armor X, right? But unfortunately for them, I landed a full charge shot. And again, the damage over time on that is really, really good. So we got a win there. And here, I think it's my first fight against an Iris, I believe. So here, I go for the speed immediately because I need the speed. And my opponent is not getting their buff, so I'm just going to come over there and just like kind of steal their buffs too, because why not, right? So I'm going to engage now over here, and I'm going to get my buffs on, or my debuffs on them, which is good, onto their First Armor X. And the First Armor X is going to end up going down in a second here. I tried to do some cheeky stuff and try to snipe him from a bit of a distance, but I was unfortunate and not able to do that. So here is where I make a huge mistake. Like I said, this is my first time fighting against Iris. This is a 3-star Iris, and I don't really know what to do on this map against her, because this is my first time fighting against her. Oh, wait. Yeah. So the mistake I made is a huge mistake. I let Iris get control of the health pack area, which is really, really bad. However, I was able to use this as a learning experience. So, although I got blasted away there, what I did learn is that I don't want Iris to have control of this health pack area right here, because that means she gets to dictate where the fight is happening. I have to come to her. And right there, as you can see, I started bringing the fight to her, get around the mines. What I should have done is kept pressuring her. However, I got worried because my health got low, and she was able to just set back up in between the green boxes with the health pack. And unfortunately, a bit of a spoiler, but I ended up losing this one because I let the Iris get set up. I let her dictate where the fight was going to take place. But now I know for next time that if I see Iris, immediate, I'm just going to rush her. I'm just gonna run at her and get as much damage as I can as fast as I can. Now, right there, I might have been able to clean it up if I connected my Nova Strike, but I still think it would have been looking a little slow. But I lost a 3-star Iris. I know how to fight her now. GG next. Next fight, my opponent has 5-star 0, 4-star 0Z, and a 0-star First Armor X. As per usual, I'm just going to start by going to get my buffs, because getting your buffs is pretty darn good, believe it or not. I get the speed buff. My opponent gets the debuff shield, which really sucks, so I can't get my debuffs going, but I don't want to get too close to them because they have a melee weapon. I'm going to jump back to get the health back there, because I figured my opponent hasn't gotten it yet. And luckily for me, they hadn't picked it up. However, unfortunately for my opponent, I have more range in them because I'm not using a melee weapon, so I'm able to take them out, jump up, get the debuff shield, kind of wait a little bit there. Because this is a 5-star 0, I'm a little worried of melee mastery and the shield off of his, I forgot the name of the move, but it's essentially his Sheath Flasher. But what I can do is die. That's actually not what I was going to say I can do. What I was thinking is I need to avoid the air slashes from his Raikkogen. I think it's Raikkogen, I'm not sure. But I was able to take out the 0 with Classic Mega Man fairly simply. I don't know if did I burn through his shield with that? I don't know if I burned through his shield or if he just didn't use a shield there. But I get the speed, and now I have to go up top to deal with my opposition. However, with the speed buff, I was able to go and get the health pretty easily. This is a 0Z, and like right there I'm kicking myself because I know I don't want to get close to them because of Zero Knuckle hurts. And if they have the card at 5 stars, they can steal a buff. But they have to get close. So if I just don't get that close to them, or if I get close enough to them and just reduce their HP to 0, I have nothing to worry about like I do right there. So I had to kind of like bait him to come to me because of Zero's playstyle. And luckily for me, I did not get too sloppy and get hit with the Zero Knuckle. They could have abused the Z Shield, the Shield Boomerang a little bit more, but they didn't. Next fight, 3-star Ultimate Armor X, 2-star 0Z, 0-star First Armor X. Biochemical Buster and Destroyer. A little worried because they have a Biochemical Buster, but if I get a debuff shield, I should be more than okay. So I'm starting on the left this side, which is a little jarring to me because I've been starting on the right like this entire night. I don't think I got the shield. I didn't get the shield, unfortunately. But fortunately, I was able to get the KO on the opposition. Now, unfortunately, my HP is looking really low. I was able to get the health, which is nice. I'm going to try to keep my distance from 0Z, grab the debuff shield just so they can't get it. And because they have Biochemical Buster. And then I'm just going to kind of make my way back over. Switch to the Arrow Buster for a moment, get the debuff from that. Get the debuff from my Tracking Missile, kind of kite them a little bit. And I knock them out here in a second. Yep. And here I go back for the health right there. I shoot my Charge Buster by accident there, but it's fine. I grab the debuff shield again. I'm going to go back this way to grab the speed, because the speed has not been grabbed the entire game, to my knowledge anyway. So, now we have First Armor X. Unfortunately, First Armor X was able to knock me out with his Charge Buster shot, which is, in the end, is fine. It just means I don't get the 3-0. But I don't want to get too close to First Armor X because he has Headbutt at 2 charges, and then at that can inflict Crush defense, and he's invincible during it. As you can see, it looks like my opponent whiffed both of their Headbutts, which is good news for me. Unfortunately, I missed my ultimate charge shot there because it has such a dog water startup animation. But I was able to take out my opposition before they got to the health pack, so that is another victory in the books for me. I think here I crashed again. No, I didn't crash. Okay. Alright, this game. This is versus the same person, actually. Right? Yeah, I just played against this person. Alright, getting into this game. Now, I go straight for the debuff shield. My opponent gets, unfortunately, because I'm a bit slower than they are. But this game is off to a bit of a different start, which has me a little worried, to be honest, because now they're in control of the health pack, and I get knocked out by the Ultimate Armor X's Nova Strike, which is pretty bad. Unfortunately, I didn't take over that spot for myself at first. I have to fight to get into there. However, I am able to scare them out with Classic Mega, which is very, very good for me. They come back down, though, however, and they run away again. I'm not sure what their strategy is. I think they want to kite me up there. So I'm actually going to just double back this way, get the health pack, and I'm going to jump down. I jump down, get it, and I'm able to get the Ultimate Armor X to come to me and deal with him that way. However, I'm in a bit of a bad spot because my X got deleted for basically no reason. It's because I got sloppy. So I have the debuff shield, get the speed, and I'm going to go re-engage with my opponent here in a second. I jump back down here to see if I can get the health, but of course they're going to spawn right after I die. Unfortunately, as you saw right there, I got close to 0Z, and he knocked off a fat chunk of my HP, which is why you don't want to get close to him, because Zero Knuckle hurts a lot. And again, I make the same mistake. I get close to him again, and I miss my Nova Strike, which is truly unfortunate. I guess they grabbed the health because it's not there right now. I kind of just wait around. I'm like, oh, maybe they didn't get it. Maybe. It was like, it respawned the instant I left the area. And I need it a lot more than they do right now. I'm able to take out the Zero Z, but because of the blunders I made in this game, I am on the back burner right now. So I'm gonna jump up, grab the speed. I think I'm gonna go back for the debuff shield here, or maybe I don't. I just end up just like dropping down and getting deleted by the first armor X. I was actually really disappointed with myself for losing that game, so just GG next. Next here, I remember seeing a Sigma, and I don't remember much about Sigma's kit, but I do remember that I don't really want to be close to him because of his, I think it's his head lasers have a have something that make me want to not get close to him. So I'm gonna grab the speed, grab the debuff shield, and then I'm gonna go try to get into an engagement with my opponent. That first armor X up first. I'm just gonna do the usual thing and take it out with my tracking missile and my debuffs from the biochemical blaster and the error buster, so that's quite good. I have a decent chunk of health left over as well. So Sigma's coming to get close to me, and I don't really want him to be close to me. Like, get away from me, Sigma. Go home. I don't want the virus. So I'm gonna play a little cat and mouse right now, just kind of get him to chase after me, kind of kiting him a little bit, because I don't, like I said, I don't want to get close to him. He does get a debuff barrier when he does some things. I think it might have been him using his, like, he has like a parry or something. That's really all I remember about him, but I know that he's pretty strong. So on Classic Mega, I dropped down in the health pack box, tried again to come to me again. However, I'm not able to do that. I do get off a fat chunk of damage. I drop my leaf shield here just to get a lot of damage on him because he's so close, and I'm able to take him out. I'm not really sure what Sigma's plan was right there. I wouldn't be able to tell you, but I jump up top, drop down to get the debuff barrier, and drop down to get the health. Now my opposition is on their last unit. I drop the leaf shield here as I expect them to get close to me, but they actually end up Nova Striking away, which is more than fine with me because they're debuffed already, and I got a charge shot on them. So all I have to do is really clean up the fight, and there's not much else to say about that one, except I still don't really know what Sigma does. He was a 4-star Sigma, but I just know I don't want to get close to him. Anyway, GG next. So I see Axel, Furham, and Black Zero, and a Sniper Buster, like a 5-star Nightmare. I'm seeing this, I was like, I do not want to get close to them. Like, if anything, if I get close to them, I am going to get cooked. So, first thing I do is go up here and get the speed buff. They got the debuff barrier, but I'm okay with that because they don't have speed. Axel tries to get close to me, but I know that Axel's only offensive ability requires him to be very close. Although his roll does get him speed and attack, I don't really care about that. I care about not getting hit with Strafing Barrage. And right there, they actually hit me with the Sniper Buster to get me inflicted with the Chill Penguin chip. Unfortunately for them, they're not able to outdamage me because they didn't hit me with the Strafing Barrage straight on. Hit the debuff shield. I'm going to go back for the speed again because, like I said, I want to keep my distance from Furham, except she's right there. So I just run. I didn't want to get close to her. Unfortunately, right there, I do get a bit close to her to get some damage in. I got about 50% of her health gone, but I could have gotten a lot more had I not made the mistake of getting close to her. And that's why I say you don't want to get close to her, because her, I don't know what that's called, her like miasma barrier is pretty dangerous. For whatever reason though, this Furham kind of just stands there. I'm not sure what their plan was, to be honest, but they eat a fully charged powered up shot from Classic Mega Man, and it does a fat stack of damage. Like, if they had dodged that, I wouldn't have killed them right there. I'm not too sure what happened to them there, but yeah, now I gotta deal with Zero. He used Raykosen, so I actually don't have much to worry about with him getting too close to me. I can kind of just shoot him. Like, he's getting close to me, but he's not pizza cutting because he's jumping and doing it. Towards the end here, though, he starts getting the pizza cutter right. So I'm like, oh, I need to back up. But by that point, it's a little too late for me to worry about backing up. Now, I'm down to Ultimate Armor X, but there's not really much else for me to worry about because I can just finish them with a charge shot. They also just stand still. I'm not sure what their plan was, to be honest. But that match got me to SA3. That might have been their cleanup match. And here, I run back into the Iris player. And this time, I know how to fight against Iris, so I'm ready. So First Armor X, I just have to blast through him. That's my plan. My plan is to eliminate First Armor X as fast as possible and then just rush Iris. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump to the middle. I'm not even going to worry about the speed right now. I'm just going to get the debuff shield and just book it to First Armor X. I can grab this speed right here though, because it denies them the speed and I get the speed. That's basically it. So here, just this typical stuff. Tracking missile, fire some buster shots, charge shot, and then the First Armor X goes down. I don't think the health is still there, but I made the mistake of going for the debuff shield while they were spawning in, but it's fine because as you'll see in a second here, even with that, I'm able to do a huge chunk of damage to the Iris as compared to last time. So because I know that Iris wants to control that box area, all I have to do is just rush her, because if she's out in the open, there isn't much she can do. And right there, I'm just gonna sacrifice Mega Man. I'm gonna go full charge shot, jump in, and just launch downwards. Luckily for me, it worked. We traded units, but I got rid of the Iris, so she cannot camp that health pack. It's kind of like a Symmetra in Overwatch, how she just sets up turrets and just cooks you. Though, now we're both on our last units. I'm not too worried at this point, because it's just an Axel. Axel can still eliminate me, so I have to be careful of that. As you can see right there, I was standing real close to him, but my HP was high, and I just finished him off with a Charge Buster shot because he's immobile using Street from Garage. And again, because I figured out how to fight Iris in my first encounter, Iris wasn't a problem that time. Here, though, I get DC'd again. So unfortunately for me, I have to load back in here with my X down. Now, my opponent probably had more than enough time to delete my Mega Man. I don't know if they were... I can't even say like they were like waiting for me, because my X is gone. Like they were waiting. They would have defeated my X, right? But they beat my X and then ran away from my Mega Man for whatever reason. So I have to come over here and try to beat the brakes off of Cinnamon. She's kind of just running away, which is fine. Like, why are you running? Like, I know why she's running, but like, she can't get away. Like, her health is too low. And she's not doing enough damage to me to actually scare me off. Even if she was, like, I feel like I've already lost this game, but I'm still trying to win it at, you know? Like, even though I'm down, I still think there's a chance for me to come back and win. So I'm gonna grab the debuff shield, come up top, grab the speed, and there's just Ultimate Armor X there in my face, which sucks. And again, that's one of the things that happens where I target the enemy, like the stationary enemy, rather than the player that I want to target, which makes me really, really angry, but it happens. So, coming over here to deal with their Ultimate Armor X, he still has quite high HP, so what I want to do is I hit him with the Snipe Buster, hit him with the Charge Shot, switch to my Snipe Buster so that I can have my Stinky Million chip active, and then just kind of eliminate them right there. So now, my HP is looking really, really low. I do get the health, which is good, because it respawned at a good time for me. I have the debuff barrier, because it's good to have that, and I need to have that so that my opponent cannot benefit from it. But they have a 0Z, so I have to not get close to them. I'm able to get off a Snipe Buster shot, or not a Snipe Buster, a Arrow Buster shot. I'm not able to take him out, but I'm so confident that if I didn't get DC'd there, I would have won. At least had a much better chance. And then I even get like disconnected again at the end. So GG next again. So there wasn't much I can do about the DCs, but I do feel like I could have won the game before I got DC'd. It still might have ended in me losing, but I think I had a good chance of winning that. Anyway, we're on to the next one. I have the debuff shield as per usual. Gonna jump down there and deal with the First Armor X. They have explosive blower though, so I need to be careful because that can go through terrain. We get a network unstable option, or a network error here, which is kind of troubling, but I'm just going to ignore it and just like kind of move on. I was like, alright, I'm just going to try to finish this match as quickly as possible. And go up top, get the speed buff again, get the debuff shield. And now Layer is in the box where I don't want it to be. And that's why I realized, I was like, oh, explosive blower goes through the terrain. And right there is where I figured out, or I saw that Layer's hitbox is bigger than I think it is. Because I wasn't in the area where her I forgot what it's called, Ten Shoha, was I was on the box next to it, but I still got hit, which is unfortunate. I wasn't able to take out Lair. I got her really low, but what I didn't realize is that if she doesn't have that skill, she can't hit me from if I stand on the yellow platform. It didn't register in my head until after I beat her. I was like, oh, I could have just stood up there and shot her and probably beat her with the Mega Man. But Olivia learned. Raikou down from the Black Zero, so I don't really have much to worry about. Explosive blowers coming, but I can just outrange that, hit it with a charge shot, and then I just do what I had mentioned before. I was like, oh, well, if you're going to hide down there, you can't really hurt me up there consistently because you have explosive blower, but that's not going to be enough to pressure me. And then Biochemical Buster, but they're not using Biochemical Buster. So, next one. Black Zero 2-star, Vile 3-star, and 2 5-star weapons. One of them was Elite Lance, though, so I just pretended it didn't exist, to be honest, because Elite Lance is pretty bad. Though I do need to watch out for the Raikou from the Zero, and the 3-star Vile might be an issue. Now, the interesting thing about X's kit, or rather X's cards, you saw there I got hit with Raikou, but I didn't get hit with the interrupted or the stun status. But X's card has a chance to give him immunity to that. And here, this is why I don't understand why people keep saying Ultimate Armor XCM is busted, because he can one tap your HP, but what happens when he misses? Like, you might have noticed the audio cue there, and then after that I just jumped on him because I heard him say his audio cue for his all-out barrage, and I was like, oh, you wasted it. You can't kill me now, so now I have nothing to fear. Right? Because Ultimate Armor X, yes, he can one-tap you, but if he misses, what is he gonna do? Right? He has a laser that can take off like half my HP, but even then, I'm not scared of the laser. Like, what I should be scared of is the one-tap. And this is a game against the same person. I would have edited this one out, but I kind of wanted to stress like how, like, Ultimate Armor XCM isn't really busted, right? You bait out his barrage, and then you just go in for the kill. So that's why everyone, maybe not everyone, but a good chunk of people are like, oh, Ultimate Armor XCM is busted. It's like, he has a glaring weakness. If he misses his attacks, he can't do anything. On top of that, he's stationary during his attacks. So if he misses his attack, and you're in line of sight of him with a ranged weapon, you have nothing to worry about. Right? You have nothing to worry about if he misses attacks. But, as you see right here, I'm trying to kite him into using it, and he uses it, and I lose a chunk of my HP. Like you saw right there, I lost a chunk of it. But because I kited him, I didn't lose all of my HP. However, I did get him down to about 50%, and because he just used his all-out barrage, I am just going to just run up to him with Classic Mega Man and hit him. Unfortunately for my opponent, he was looking the wrong direction when he used his all-out barrage, so it whiffed on Classic Mega Man, and Classic Mega Man had nothing to worry about. You saw, like, I was completely safe on the platform I was on. Now we have Vile. I'm kind of worried about Vile because Vile can stun lock me, but then he has 0 HP. So, but the main thing I wanted to like get into with that is if you dodge Ultimate Armor X, he's not really that much of a threat. So here we are, Waddles yet again. This is important because this is the first person I got DC'd against. 4-star Black Zero, 1-star Iris, Leviathan. So I already have a game plan against this team. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump up, jump over, get the speed, drop down, get the debuff shield, and then I'm just going to try to pummel Black Zero as fast as I can. Even with the Raikou shield, he doesn't have immunity to status effects, right? So if you notice, I keep shooting him with my Biochemical Buster, my Chill Penguin chip, and my homing missile, and I still get the debuffs on him. That's because he gets a barrier, but the barrier doesn't protect him from status, which is very, very important. Because that means I can still land my poison, I can still land my freeze, which slows him down, I can still land my defense debuff. So here, I beat the Black Zero. I know Iris is next. I'm going to get the health. I thought about getting the debuff barrier. Oh, I do get the debuff. Oh no, Iris isn't next. Leviathan is next, which is unfortunate. Iris is going to be last this time. I think that's why I didn't go rush immediately, because Iris wasn't next. Leviathan is next though. Leviathan is kind of threatening, but as long as I can just like... I need to pressure Leviathan too, So Leviathan and Iron Iris have fairly similar play styles where you want to keep the pressure up on them, right? But you still want to have to avoid their attacks because that Ice Dragon does a lot of damage, and her Ice Bits can do a fat chunk of damage. You're going to see in a second here, right? Right now, right there, unfortunately for the Leviathan, I was able to just cat daddy all over the Ice Dragon. I see Iris, I'm just going to go for it. I'm like, nah, you got to die. Nah, not today. You're not getting this health pack room. Like, I'm guarding the health pack room. Like, if you want the health pack room, you have to beat me. But if you beat me, the match is over. So I just kind of block that way for her so that she can't have the space over there. Anyway, coming up over here again, another Ultimate Armor XCM match. 0Z 5-star, Axel 4-star, and again, I just want to stress, Ultimate Armor X, if you dodge his attacks, he's legitimately just a sitting duck. Yes, he can be good. He can one-tap people. But if you dodge, like right there, you saw like I didn't get hit with the barrage. Like anytime I hear his barrage, I think Senhai Kaiso, I might have said that wrong, but anytime I hear that, I know that's when I go. Like that's when I push the aggression. Like, okay, he's used it. He has his cooldown is gone. I go for it now. 0Z is up next. My HP is looking kind of low though, so now I'm just going to play a little bit of cat and mouse with him. Very, very fortunate that he didn't expect him to drop down there and like whiffed his attack. As you see right there as well, he used his Z knuckle, so I could, in theory, have closed distance a little bit, but I want to keep my X alive for a little bit longer because of the Buster Master and such. I kind of wait there. Hoping the health would respawn, so I'm just gonna like try to kite him a little bit more. To be honest, like my movement is pretty jank here, so I shouldn't have gotten away with this as long as I did. But it's because of the speed buff. If I didn't have the speed buff, I'd be going much slower and I wouldn't have been able to do so. I'm able to manipulate my enemy's movement though, and I'm able to get the KO on the 0Z. Again, we want to avoid close combat with him because of the Z knuckle. It hurts, it steals buffs, and it can heal him. So I finally die on the last unit of the opposition, which is fine because X more than did his job. So now I'm just gonna kind of chill up here with versus Axel because again they have a Gatling gun and I don't really care about the Gatling gun, so I basically just stand still at this point because the Gatling gun isn't very threatening to me. If it's a different weapon, maybe it might be threatening, but Gatling gun is not very threatening to me, even at 5 stars. So here is Waddles again, different unit order. However, I see Iris immediately. You just gotta. It's like I said, it's like playing Overwatch. Like you have to, once you make a decision, you just go for it. Like you don't have time to sit around and really think all that much. So I wait there for a moment to see if Iris was going to come to the health pack. Then I jump up to see what the Iris is doing. I don't really know what she's doing, so I'm just gonna start shooting her a little bit and. Yeah, I get her with the damage over time, which is very, very good. Next up, Leviathan. I want the speed to deal with Leviathan, so I'm going to try and deal with that. I dodge part of the dragon. I only get with it once, which is nice. I think the speed helped out with that a little bit. Able to deal a fat chunk of damage to Leviathan. Able to actually take her out still with my X intact. Get the health. And I think I'm going to grab the debuff shield here, just so that my opposition can't get it. I grab more speed just to be fast and make my getaways, like my movement a lot faster. And then Zero just used both of his cooldowns. So realistically, I have nothing to worry about in terms of cooldown, so I should have just pushed aggressively on him there. Although I did think I got the defense crush on him and the freeze. Yes, I did. Again, Raykosen down. He does refresh his shield, but I don't really care. Like, the Raykosen's down. You can't get away. You can't stun me. You could see Flasher, I guess, but I'm not going to do anything. I hit him with the fully charged shot. He got the Raykosen off, but the Raykosen was into a wall rather than hitting me, so he didn't get as much value out of it. And then here, I'm just like, well, you're down there and I'm up here, so I'm going to shoot you. Right? Because they have Arrow Buster and Nightmare, so their rate of fire versus my rate of fire isn't very good. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys like this style. I might upload more of these just to kind of have more content on the channel. And I just kind of want to explain like my climb, like my thought process from going through climbing in an arena. I went from, as you saw, I started this at A because I did no matches this season, and I climbed it to GA in 28 games. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and shows that you're enjoying the content. I guess let me know down below what other kind of things you want to see for Mega Man X Dive. I'll still be working on some of the guide-like videos I have going on for the events. I'll get back in the character overviews as well. If there's a character you'd like to see me cover sooner, I might open a poll on the community tab of my channel, so be sure to vote there. And the Jacob's Orbital Elevator Climb will continue as well once I have time to sit down and record that. Anyway, again, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.